This video will go through the HV words, known as the WH words in English. These words are often used in the form of a question, but can also, of course, be used in statements. Hvor means where, as in hvor er du. This meaning is pretty straightforward, but you have to be careful with hvor, because hvor has a meaning on its own, but is also part of the majority of Danish HV words. So it is vital to understand that not every time you hear hvor will be the standalone meaning of the word. Here are some of the other HV words that use hvor. The first two use hvor and one other word to form the questioning word. Hvor meget, or hvor meget, means how much. Hvor mange, how many. An easy way to remember these two is that they both contain a larger amount of words than any of the single HV words, and both are questions about amounts. Many of the other HV words have cognates or parallel words in English, but most of these cognates are from archaic English such as wherefore, which is hvorfor in Danish. Once you realize that these two look alike, you might be tempted to use hvorfor as because, and while it can mean this in Danish, that is a very rare usage, and instead the word will almost always mean why. The other common HV words that start with hvor are hvornår, which means when, hvordan means how, hvorfor, which means why. But we also have hvorfra, which means where from, and hvorhen, which means where to. These are both a little less common than the other HV words. And that's the end of the HV words that start with hvor. Other words that start with HV and which are important to know are hvem, which means who, as in hvem er du, and hvad, which means what, as in hvad er dit navn. Hvilken is another important HV word, which can also be conjugated as hvilket and hvilke. This word means which, as in hvilken bil købte du. That's all the HV words. Remember that a lot of them are very similar, and unless you're used to distinguishing them in spoken Danish, you can easily misunderstand what someone's trying to communicate to you. So practice them often and focus on the distinction between them all.